I have to allow you to liberate yourself to be able to play Gangu. Who's Gangu? You don't know her. You live in Bandra, you live in brought up in a convent school, you don't know what that world is. And I had such a blast working with her. You get fulfilled as a director to have an actor like that who is so committed without excess baggage. Of my vans, of my 17 people coming, of my 20 personal people coming, and that this demand, my food will come from there. Nothing. So Gangu is a very important film in terms of no compromise, making the film that I want to, celebrating that woman.
So one thing that I experienced entirely as a viewer while watching the film and after watching the film, that it seemed like a very unique confluence between the director and the artist, that is you and Alia. A lot of things you're trying to communicate through Alia, which is part of your childhood, because you have experienced a lot of all this personally. There's a lot of empathy that you have for that particular context, which definitely comes out, which is very unique as well. So if you can please tell us something about the process of literally just communicating your vision to Alia and how she.
The most important was when she heard the role, she said, I can't do this role, I don't think I'm right for this role. I said, trust me, believe in me, and I believe in you. So when belief comes in, it is the biggest communication of two people, where I trust you and you trust me, and I surrender to you, I give you all, you receive all, and you give it all back. Okay. So that was the first rule, I think, of an actor and a director communicating. Respect being the second one. Of course. Where you respect, I'm saying that I'm constructing a scene, now don't interfere. Therefore, we all respect each other and contribute and play it out to the best of our abilities. And then there comes the understanding of receiving, listening. Alia listened to all my little experiences here or there in the courthouse, and I would not give her very direct briefs, but I would read out the scene in a certain way where I'm discussing it, not even read out. But when I'm discussing, she knows what is happening to my mind, how my anger is rising, how what is happening to the delicate, fragile moments of what she's feeling. But listening, and I think good listening. When she would suggest something, I would listen. We are all listening. Shudip Chatterjee will suddenly want to light it up in a certain way. I'm listening. So we have to be good listeners. That is what again has happened between Alia and me, where she would hear me out, I would hear her out. The freedom of being allowed to be, you have to allow you to liberate yourself to be able to play Gangu. Who's Gangu? You don't know her. You live in Bandra, you live brought up in a convent school, you don't know what that world is. But for her to then imbibe and start understanding what is that anger in the voice, where do I bring my voice, what is the soul of the voice that I bring. So all that we started talking about, working out, how to stand at the door. So that give and take, and with Alia what happens, an actor has to inspire the director to come and say things. When Ranveer walks into the set, I get very inspired. Let's do this. I'll suddenly change the whole scene on the set. And with her, it was the same thing. Because you're receiving, you're open to improvisations, because at that moment you're alive. The whole set is there, the lighting is there, actors are there, co-actors are there. You're in costume, you're that person now. So I want to suddenly improvise. So the ability to improvise, the ability to live that moment rather than study it on paper and come prepared. And I don't like too much preparation. It has to be spontaneous. So she's a very spontaneous actor. So both of us are just improvising on the spot. And I had such a blast working with her. You get fulfilled as a director to have an actor like that who is so committed without excess baggage. Of my vans, of my 17 people coming, of my 20 personal people coming, and that this demand, my food will come from there. Nothing. Yeah. There was just a complete surrender to what she wanted to do. She wanted to perform this role and perform it at her best, and that comes without excess baggage. Excess baggage today in the industry is a huge matter of that baggage the producer or the director has to pay for, and it's very, very tiring and gruesome. So the director-producer lose the connect because there are so many other things that are coming in the way. So the love for each other, I think, is one of the biggest reasons why this performance has happened.
Definitely, sir. So something about the writing part of it. I believe Utkarshini has collaborated with you. Be the screenplay, many dialogues, many scenes which are absolutely spectacular and lasting. They'll be discussed. I think one can take out individual scenes and talk about them for hours, for that matter. How important is the writing portion? Do you enjoy that portion?
Oh, completely. It was a 30-page book. And when I told Zaidi that and I want to buy the rights of Gangubai, he said, why Gangubai? There are so many other nice stories in the book.
Sapna is...
Yeah, there were many other stories. I said, no, Gangubai. I feel that is the woman with that angst, with that anger, with that deprived of her dignity, and she fights for it. So I have great respect for this character you've created. You've raised through that book the questions that she raised then in 40s and 50s. You're celebrating her life so that she doesn't get lost and forgotten. One more time it reminded me that, oh, there was a woman who stood up for these women. And she made the Azad Maidan speech and said, give these women, legalize their profession, give them dignity, etc., etc., etc. So it was celebrating that life. So Gangu is a very important film in terms of no compromise, making the film that I want to, celebrating that woman, and that's it. I can talk about Gangubai for hours. Even if that's not a question, I'll keep answering something else.
No, please go ahead, sir. Sir, you have a very natural sense of humor that shows in your films. That particular scene that pura China ke muh mein ghusayega, I think it is absolutely hilarious, and people tend to have a great time in the theaters. What is your idea of a sense of humor? Because many a times sense of humor is inserted in movies, as you mentioned, projects, that yahan par hame hasana hai types. But your sense of humor, it flows very organically, as if it is coming from your own personal life itself. That natural element, do you think it connects with the people?
All my one-liners in my office, which are my favorites of my whole team that works with me, they wait for that one-liner that comes. So sometimes it is wicked, sometimes it is hilarious to a certain extent, and Alia is always falling down behind the monitor, or Ranveer is always falling down behind the monitors. And my people around me, they love me for it. If they don't come, then they feel something is wrong and that I'm not in mood or whatever. And when in the film, when you put in humor, it will come naturally. I felt like saying that. Again, a great team of writers. Utkarshni wrote, Prakash Bhai wrote the dialogue. There were two other people that wrote additional dialogue. And we were all just vibing, how will this character, this character, Gangu had a great temperament and personality which we enjoyed writing. In terms of attitude of speaking, in terms of laughing at the moment we're not supposed to laugh, at the times hitting a wicked line, and have a subtle layered sense of humor in the situation which is the most gruesome. And I'd always thought it would never reach people. For example, when she says, you are a journalist, you are Faizi, I'm prostitute Gangubai. Now, I thought that was very funny, and yet tremendous pride in who she is, and that's a fight. That's what she, in that one line, says, if you're a journalist and you're proud of yourself, I'm a prostitute, I'm proud of myself, and let's shake hands. So within that anger, within that with the angst that she had, there was a humor, there was a lightness, and that's why I enjoyed making the film, because it's a dark subject, but it's got a lot of sunshine in it. It's in this world of how they laugh at themselves, how they laugh at things, how they fool around with Faizi, how they fool around with, how she fools around with Sheila. There is a lot of sunshine, and that's the best way to live life. Because whatever circumstances you are in, you must be able to laugh at yourself and the situation, and only then can you overcome it. So I feel humor is very important. If you do not have humor, you cannot reach people, you cannot be a good artist, you cannot be an accomplished artist. Humor is very important.
The idea is that you're not merely directing, you're also writing at the same time, you're composing music for your films, and they are spectacular, the songs are spectacular. How do you compartmentalize your various departments?
Writing most important. You asked me about writing before, and my answer went somewhere else. But yes, writing is very important. I wrote with Utkarshni the screenplay 7 years ago, and then over 7 years it is corrected and made tighter and remove excess unnecessary things. So writing, and there's a character fleshed out. Right. Then the music comes in immediately. The song starts coming into my mind. So I took out a song which was made 10 years ago, Jab Saiyaan, Aaye Shaam Ko. That was made 10 years ago. And I felt it found the right place over here, and how would I shoot it? So again, choreography becomes an important part. So I sit with Kruti, and then we brainstorm. Oh, Jab Saiyaan was the most difficult song I've shot, because it really was challenging as to how to hold that song without them singing and without them lip syncing, etc. Then you come to art direction, which is again a very important place for me to be in terms of colors and the structures and architecture is a very important part of my filmmaking. I love architecture. So how to create brothels of Kamatikpura, and how do you texture it, and how do you not paint it and yet get color, and yet it is so subtly it merges with the costumes. So costumes become a very important. Yeah. How do I pick up her sari for that particular scene on where we have placed it? So that's costume selection over there from all the saris, and I'll go and pick up the right costume depending on what will look nice with the wall behind and what will look nice in the mood of the scene, etc., etc. What colored flower should go in, to how will we say the line, and then to how will we move the camera. There's so many things that a filmmaker does. So you're always very engrossed, and I'm in a meditative state when I'm doing all these things. I love every minute of it. It's not trying to control it. I enjoy doing every minute of it. And therefore on the set, sometimes when I'm meditative, when some assistant makes some mistake or something doesn't fall into place, the whole cart topples for me, because I have to come back to that state again where only that shot matters, that moment matters, and then I have to rebuild myself again. So sometimes people say I get angry on the set and all that, but if you're on a meditation and somebody pushes you hard, and how do you feel about it? So and I'm happy that I'm a little temperamental as a director. I feel for the shot. I have a great equation with the unit where I can tell them what are you doing, and without them feeling bad or without me feeling guilty about it. This exchange of free flowing ideas, only then can the director emerge where he says, I'm committed to this shot and I will get it the way I want to under any circumstances. And that is where the director, I feel I succeed because I work very hard. I am working for many, many more hours than I've worked in Padmavat. And in Padmavat, I worked many, many more hours than I worked in Bajirao Mastani. So as I'm moving ahead, I'm working more and more hard, and the people around me getting a little fed up of me because I only want work and work and work, because only then can you find excellence. You can search for excellence. You can never find excellence. It's a myth that I found excellence and I found perfection. You can never find it. But you pursue it, you run after it, you search for it. So yeah, I've been blessed to have a great team and great love for my work to be able to make the films I want to and be the director that I am, whatever I am, good, bad, whatever.
No, fabulous. And the best part is that you're surprising your audience with each passing films. Padmavat, after Padmavat, you're having a completely different subject, which is fascinating.